Caleb Plant versus Trevor Mccumby. Who's going to win this fight? Well, before we talk about who's going to win this fight, let's take a look at their latest performances, in which Caleb Plant fought Anthony Durrell, in which both went back and forth, both landed some great shots until Caleb Plant knocked them out in round 9. After this, Caleb Plant went on to fight David Benavidez, in which Caleb Plant started off great until David Benavidez let his hands go, took control of the fight, outlanded Caleb Plant, and obviously David Benavidez ended up taking it by decision.
And still, the undefeated interim.
Let's take a look at Trevor Mccumby's latest performances, in which he fought Rodolfo Martinez, in which Trevor knocked him out in round 1. After this, Trevor Mccumby went on to fight Christopher Pearson, in which Trevor landed some great combinations, completely outclassed Christopher Pearson, in which he ended up taking it by decision.
And still undefeated, tenacious.
Now, to me, this fight is pretty similar to the Rolly fight that's happening on the same card, because both Rolly and Caleb Plant are big names in boxing who have the high-level experience that their opponents don't have. So obviously, their opponents are not seen as big challenges for them. But this fight with Trevor Mccumby versus Caleb Plant is way more closer than the fight against Rolly. So let's talk about it, because if we take a look at the records, you'll see that Trevor Mccumby is undefeated with the record of 28 wins, with 21 of those wins coming by knockout. And if you look at Caleb Plant, well, he stands with a record of 22 wins, with 13 of those wins coming by knockout, but he does have 2 losses, which one of those losses did end by TKO. So now, how's this fight going to go, and who's going to win this fight? Well, Caleb Plant should win this fight, and he's definitely the safe bet to go for, because although he has lost before, he has fought against the biggest and toughest names in the division. Meanwhile, Trevor Mccumby hasn't experienced what Caleb Plant has experienced, so we don't know how he'll do against high-level fighters like Caleb Plant. But there's something that could work against Caleb Plant in this fight, and that is the fact that he hasn't been as active as Trevor Mccumby since his last fight was back in 2023, which was his only fight that year. Meanwhile, Trevor Mccumby had 2 fights in 2023 and 1 fight this year. So in the end, I do got Caleb Plant winning this fight, because he needs and should win this fight, because if he doesn't win this fight, then his career may be over, because he loses all credibility if he's not able to be someone like Trevor Mccumby.